So, thanks both of you for coming and sharing your work. I think I'm reminded of something that Uday Andhare from Indigo Architects said recently in one of his interviews, that the future of Indian architecture is going to be in small towns and is going to be with smaller practices, not the iconic practices. And I think both of your works today really shares that, really indicates that where our future in Indian architecture is. And I'm really glad that we could have both of you here today, because both of your works are similar and yet different. And so, Pooja, I wanted to ask you, even through your early works and then through your more recent work, even with your houses, you're always interested in the public. You're interested in how a building engages with the larger context, or even your houses, how they interact with the street, how the people interact with the street. So where does that interest come from?
Because you asked, I was not very sure that it will come, but I think it is because I have grown up into a joint family, and then I am in a town where everything is so interestingly connected to each other. Am I audible? Yeah. So this idea of, it's not about public, it is about the human. It is about how much you can interact, and the same space can be converted into the personal space and the public spaces. That is where I think we are isolating architecture in every way. So my idea is not about only public spaces. My idea is just to connect whenever you want to, and the architecture can be a key factor to do that. So that's how I'm trying to see, even if it's a private house or it's a public building or like a school, that junction, the threshold has been designed really well. So those has a life. That's what I feel. If you ask more and more people to involve into those spaces as a life, and that is what an idea what I had. And I also grew up into the family which is so connected. All my learnings and lot of this sensitive nature has been came from there. So that is, I think, in this generation where there are people who are getting more and more depressed and getting isolated to the family, this works well for everybody. That's what I feel like.
Amrita, when we spoke, you mentioned two things that are key in your work. One is memory, and the other one is trying to create interconnected and connected spaces. So your work, so tell us a little bit about, why is memory so important for you, and what is the story with interconnected spaces?
Like as we discuss, memory means what is our experience as a user when you were a kid, when you were a student, and what you really expected from the premise or from the surrounding, what was provided to you. And if as a user, if somebody asked me a question like, if I was given an opportunity to design a hostel, so how it would be, what kind of connectivity you want with, do you want to be isolated, do you want to be very secretive, do you want to be very locked in a room kind of thing, or do you want to make it more public, more interactive, like people can just walk in, make friends, start connecting with different courses people. So I have a same history. Like I have been brought up into a very heritage old Wada kind of system colony, and where there was no restriction. Like we had a ota, we used to play together. There was no boundary. So we thought, why not bring those same thing in the projects? And it is very subconscious way. It's not like we are deriving something because we remember something. It is something like, for example, there's a small window given in the staircase in our college project. So when I was studying in 12th standard, we had two buildings. Like it was science building, it was commerce building, and I had many friends in commerce. So they used to disturb me. We had a different interval time. So they used to disturb me from their window in my classroom. So their staircase common area window used to open up in my classroom wala courtyard. So I could connect that. Like really, like I don't remember what I studied in my 12th, but I do remember what my friends were having fun and troubling me. So can I really bring those spaces, those connectivity to my project? Or maybe it is like what I want. So I can connect. Like as I said, admin blog, it was never happening admin blog. Though the admin person was great, was very helpful, but the ambience was not great. So do these spaces have to be burdensome, or it should lighten up your mind, it should be pleasing? So that is how your experiences may be good or bad, you can improve that through your work, and that is how we connect.
That makes a lot of sense. Pooja, how did your interest in working on public social sector projects, where did that start from? How did you get your first project, and where is it leading?
Actually, I never knew that I will be interested in the public sector projects. I was just sitting in the office. We have one project, we were doing competition, and NGO just came and asked, we don't have money, but can you do this for us? I said, no problem. And then we went to this village, which is like 2 hours of travel and in the deep forest. And when I went there, I was like, we have to do here, like in the end of the world where nobody is going to see, and I don't know what kind of a project is going to be. But then when I just looking at the surroundings and looking at the things, I think that is the point when I thought, architecture is not for the rich. Architecture has to enter at the smaller places where the money and there are a lot of constraints. The architects has to work in much greater strength rather than working for the people who has the money. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying our requirement has to be work for these people, because in the so many constraints with economical and the other factors, like this this community canvas, when we did this, now this is like a catalyst to that area. So all the traditional things, festivals happening there. There are some campaigns are happening. The political people are coming there and doing the inauguration, and some sort of things are happening. So whoever comes, they can distribute the money or some needy things to the people there in the village. So that almost became a catalyst. A simple thought process, I think, that architecture could have done there. We never thought this will happen. We were just imagined it. But yes, after that, when we get a call, till today we get a call from the school, some or other person comes and tells us, "Amcha tithe lagna hoto. This has happened to us. Thank you for doing this." And that feeling, I think, is very important to me. Now we are more and more trying to connect to the people like this. Can we help you? Can we do something where we will be blessed if we can do something for that? So the community canvas is a changing point for looking at architecture in a way that, and now we are glad that we are working for a lot of CSR fund and NGOs in whatever capacity we are possible, whatever smallest thing, and we are looking for the impact. We are looking for what architecture can give to the community and the people, and that's the simple idea. We have taken it in our office. It's little tough. I'll tell you, you can't survive on this, but yes, I chose that, and I am happy that we are doing it.
That's beautiful. I think a lot of people here will be inspired by that. Amruta, your house that you showed, I think it was called the inward looking house. And when you were showing it, steps and the steps, and I was thinking of Girish sir. And I always wonder how you can build a house which spirals up, and you have one, and I can never do it. I've tried. I fail every time. My team is here, and we design the most boring houses. So, what was the inspiration for that? I mean, firstly, I'm really it's nice to see a house which is so playful, it's got so many levels and still works. So, what is the inspiration? What is the thought for that?
No, there was no other inspiration that I had a constraint of 1080 square feet plot area, no windows from 3 sides, and I wanted to save space which is going to be utilized by lobby spaces. So it was, the first thing was can I connect those bedroom spaces and avoid lobbies and connect directly from mid landing, and that was the only thing which came in my mind. Okay, I have to design for him in this space and how to utilize it in the maximum way. But yeah, we started making.
Did you have any precedents or inspirations while thinking about that house, or was it just your original thinking that came up? You can say it if it's your original thinking. It's fine. Anyway, I'm just teasing.
No, it's like always people play in level and we always wonder in office, इतना level कैसे play करते हैं, कितना difficult है, कैसे करते होगे, कैसे height manage करते होगे, कैसे connect करते होगे, and then we tried. That's it.
That's great. That's great. So, Amruta, I wanted to tell you, when we spoke on the phone, you were talking about you got a lot of recognition. I think you said 2018, 2019 for your work.
Yeah.
and you got a lot of awards, and you were called for this function and that event, and you were feted all over the country, and how it affected your work. Can you just share that? I think it's important to share that. So can you share that, please?
Yeah, of course, it was great to be like get the recommendation in the form I could really meet so many good people. I started connecting with people. I started talking about work. So that was the great platform if I take it that way. But to be very honest, after the recommendation and after those 2 years, I couldn't work in office for minimum 3 to 4 months because I was so pressurized, so pressurized. Like every other day somebody is talking about work. Every other day somebody saying, "Ab kaun sa award hai? Ab kya hai? Ab kaise?" Like I never thought of award when I designed a house which was my first architectural project. It was never intended ki okay, I'm going to participate. In fact, I was not aware about many platforms. It was somebody from Pune introduced me. Okay, why don't you participate? And I thought, okay, let's try. So till then I was not aware about all these things. But once I started traveling, I started going and meeting on those platforms, I lost all my time in the office, which was actually devoted to work when I did uh, before the awards and functions. And every time when I used to design, to be very honest, I used to think, juror ये पूछेगा मैं क्या जवाब देने वाली हूँ. Literally that was the thought. Juror ये पूछेगा मैं क्या जवाब. Is it going to be reasonable? Is it going to be really acceptable? So things were actually working in reverse way. Rather than taking the credit, enjoying that achievement, it was actually destroying my peace. And then after that, I said, we are not going to participate. We will take a break. So maybe I couldn't handle it. Maybe it may be like that. If other people can handle it, I couldn't handle it. So it was very pressurized thing. Like you start losing your innocence, you start losing your originality, and you start designing to show. You don't design for yourself. Earlier it was designing for myself and client.
I think what Amruta is saying is something that I feel very strongly. I feel that, and I'm just adding this, Amruta, if you don't mind, is that the number of awards that have come up in our country, which have no meaning, no purpose, which are made on platforms which dwell on the insecurities of architects. They are businesses which run on the insecurity and the neediness for attention from architects. I'm saying this on a public platform, I don't hesitate to say it, are actually destroying our profession from the inside. Because by running after recognition, we are forgetting about the core values of our work. And by trying to I've read on architects' websites that we are an award-winning practice, and the most important thing about our practice is that we win awards. And I think that's the end of architecture. And that's if you're trying to, and unfortunately, our seniors are showing us the wrong way, are showing us the wrong role models. And unless us and our juniors or the youngsters in our practice, in our profession, are following absolutely the wrong role models of trying to run after every single one project, 10 awards. What does it even matter? What does it mean? Every toilet company, every tile company, every publishing house, Foade, Wade, these things make no difference. They don't make any sense. So why are we like, and if we as a profession just say, there's JK, there's IIA, and maybe there's one or two more, and that's it. We don't, and doctors don't need awards, lawyers don't need awards, social workers don't need awards. They're saving lives every single day. They don't go out and say, I'm the best doctor, I'm the best surgeon, I'm the best neurologist. They don't do that. They just do their work. So I think that, Amruta, I'm sorry, I took your question and I answered.
I want to add one more thing to it.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I'm fortunate enough, Chandrasekhar sir was once in my office. He was there for JK jury, which happened in Aurangabad. So he came to my office and then he said, oh, bade log hai. Like there were 3-4 shelves and 3 shelves were of awards and 1 was with books. तो हम छोटे लोग हैं, हमारा पूरा केबिन बुक से भरा है. And that was so bad hit on me. Like Like it was like, oh shit, like I was like speechless. And that time I realized he could teach me everything in that one single line. And that changed my thinking also. Of course, I learned it before when I was really disturbed because of that pressure. But that is what he taught me. Like, you don't need all this. You need is what? A cabin with books. And then every time he asked me, are you adding on? Are you adding on? Yes, sir, I'm adding on. So this is how you learn. But yeah, there is one positive thing. I could meet him because of the award platform. So that is the positive thing I should say.
Okay, let's open this out to the public.
My question is to Amruta ma'am. So, the architectural gimmicks that you present in your projects are quite impressive. Like those kind of create kind of engaging and sort of visual chaos, and tries to connect user in all possible ways. But always that you were talking about your architecture was your narrative and your memories. Is there any particular thing that clients or the user or the end user gives in delivers to you or puts in their narrative into your project?
To be honest, as I mentioned, like every slide had a brief kind of thing. So for hostel, it was just low cost. So sometimes I feel I'm very blessed, like they don't have any restricted thoughts in their mind कि okay this has to be like that. So many a times my friends say कि pictures लेकर आते हैं Pinterest के हमारे पास और यही बनाना है ऐसे ही चाहिए या some architectural project. But I was really blessed for at least all these initial projects. Nobody had any brief. So it was like what you feel you can give it to us. And so I started connecting myself as a user, as my memories and as my experience ki okay can I bring this, and they were happy. Like initially yes, frustration to hota hai, like we were never clear that we are going to keep that hostel raw. We were never clear till the end. Like slabs were done, beams were done, we had an idea what we want, but are we going to bring in colors or are we going to keep it raw? And one fine day we thought we are going to keep it raw. So client was okay because budget, okay, saved. So we had help of local craftsmen and we did not use any exposed brick quality. We thought it can be worked out in that way also, just we have to use good quality bricks. And client was happy. And when he saw the end product or in anything, like even a small house, an inward looking house or a college में तो brief ऐसा था कि इतना कुछ सोचो ही मत, don't think, just do it. We just want this to be, like, I thought, is that the right way to do? Like, okay, client doesn't want, I'll earn money very soon. Like, okay, फटाफट मिल गया पैसा, free हो जाओ. But no, I thought, no, I never wanted a space where I cannot connect with my friends. And when they saw the end product, they thought, बहुत अच्छा बना लिया, ये तो चलो बहुत अच्छा मिल गया बच्चों को, वो तो आते भी नहीं है, मैं अब आना शुरू करेंगे. And that was the input of the principal. Kids who used to never come in the college, they have started enjoying the space. So that's my achievement, I feel so. So
that's
yeah.
a big achievement.
Also, one more, it's quite silly sort of a question. So, in first the hostel project, so there was a detail. The bottom brick work was the course was recessed inside. So, was it for just breaking the creating a material difference or was
actually. As I said, ki it was really developed on site, and with the process, nothing was like preconceived, pre-thought, stubborn ideas. So we thought, okay, now we are going to keep it exposed brick, but we want to bring in grooves. As the building has a structure of a freestanding elements, like as I said, we wanted to break the mass of the building, as it's a floor plate is similar. So we thought, why not break the vertical surfaces also? So we thought to bring in that detail, and that's how it was a process.
Yeah, first of all, very good work from both of you. I had a common question. Both your work, actually used materials in a very frugal way. So I just wanted to know how easy or difficult it is to translate what you plan, detail out at the studio, to actually see it happen at site. And you face issues of client making changes, and how do you negotiate with that, contractors taking shortcuts, and how do you kind of circumvent that?
So, in our case, we never, I think, we never ever started with the material because there is no chance given to us. We would like to start with the material, but nobody gave us a chance by now. Because when we start with the school, it has to be writable. That was the first idea itself. So it has to be in a black because then even the chuna can be used to write on the walls. And then the detailing of the grey patch came because the wall should not be affected by the moisture in the ground. And this is how the palette has been developed. So in our case, every project has simply take a color or a shape that was there on a site. So even the White House, they said we don't want it exclusive. We just want it extremely private. So we thought if we are making a volume, there is no need to add any color into it. Already the massing has been done and the spaces has been done there. So the more and more reflected light has to enter inside. So the white has came in there. So that was a simple idea. So yes, contractors are working with the NGOs and with the contractor where NGO is not paying them and we want good work to be done. It is like almost we were standing on a site and doing all the work. It is like many a times we drew the center line and asked them, please isko bandho. This is the circle, please draw it. And my office people has actually done all the center line on the site. So this is what we generally do it if it's a public project. Of course, in the private houses, we don't have to do it. But yes, material palette, till now, we have never ever thought in doing any of the project. And I appreciate Amruta for that. The way of the material has been handled and the detailing has been done with the very, very interesting way. I think that was a learning today for me after looking at her project.
Thank you so much for appreciating me. For us, yes, like we face difficulties when we have to convince our client for the material. But then what I do is I see at the bigger picture, I look at the bigger picture. Like if 70% of the things are convinced and accepted, 30% I'll let go. Because I see कि okay, मुझे ये 70% मिल रहा है. I have to look into it and I don't have to spoil the project looking at the negative part which is not. And sometimes listening to client also works for us. कभी कभी वो ऐसे कुछ पॉइंट आउट कर देते हैं ना एंड इट वर्क्स इट कैन बी इन प्लानिंग इट कैन बी वाइल डिस्कशन इट कैन बी वाइल साइट विजिट और डिस्कशन ऑन मटेरियल समटाइम्स इट वर्क्स सो वी टेक इट वेरी पॉजिटिवली सो वी फील कि द फाइट कैन मेक अस लूज द प्रोजेक्ट सो बेटर accept 70% has been okay, take it positively, complete the project. So that's the most important target, complete the project. So yeah, and for labors and all, yes, we face the difficulty. See, in the hostel, we face the difficulty a lot on the very larger scale. Like we were using normal bricks, normal, locally available bricks. So what first we thought was, ki, can we really make a finished brickwork, though we are using a normal quality brick? Client later on added a crushed sand to it rather than using a normal river sand and he spoiled all pointing. Okay, gave up. Then he started giving up on labors. अरे दिन में सिर्फ इतना ही काम निकल रहा है, इतना टाइम नहीं दे सकते. Okay, we gave up and we thought, okay, let's keep it raw. This is how it is. It is natural. It is what the site has been come up with. I have not forced anyone to do it. So, and maybe it worked out that way. So in a natural way with all conditions rather than forcing it on anyone. So that's how we accept it.
Good evening all. My question is for Amruta ma'am. I really like the interactive spaces made in your projects. But question is that all interactive spaces in your projects made were by making the height differences. How will you make interactive spaces in your project when you have just to work on a horizontal plane where you are restricted to go on a certain height? You just have to work on a horizontal plane and make every spaces and every interactive spaces same interesting made in your other projects. They were interested by making height differences. How will you make same interesting interactive spaces on a same horizontal plane?
First of all, thank you for liking those interactive spaces, but I'll like to share few of my sections with you because it's only a inward looking house which is on staggered level. All other projects are on the same floor plate. So nothing has been played on level in any of our project. So we have tried to make it all these spaces interactive with keeping the same floor level. So if you observe that more keenly, maybe in short time you couldn't study the sections, but it's been done that way. So there is no play of levels.
Thank you, ma'am.
Pooja, Amruta, thank you so much for coming. Your work is very inspiring, very beautiful. And I think this whole audience here would wish you the best for your future. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Pooja, how old are you? No, I don't mind working in your studio. It seems to be a fun studio, so definitely I will try if I can spend 2 months with you.
You have to say the same thing to Amrita.
Of course. No, I know her.
No, nothing is forced.
No, I think she is older, no? Pooja is younger, I think. So, yeah.
Younger one who wants to work with.
I'm talking in sense of Uday Andare. Future is in their hand, and I really believe it. So, I must learn.
But at least 2 years are required because every month, every 2 months, design change. So you cannot.
You can share the details.
No, वैसे तो 37 years है.
I just want to thank you to find out all these two girls here.
Yeah, they're amazing. Like I said, it happened by chance. I would have never met PK if I didn't go to Nasik. And we didn't have lunch together. So it happened by chance. I had a great time in Nasik. Nasik, there's so many good architects, so much to see. I think we should make a trip to Nasik and.
Please do come. We would love to host you all.
Great. And to Aurangabad.
Yeah, I'd like to host all of you to Ellora Ajanta. No, it's still Aurangabad.
Okay, great. Thank you all for coming. We are having a couple of more events in the next couple of months. We are having Bijoy Ramachandran coming, and we are having Biju Kuriako is coming. These are going to be twin lectures, one in Pune and one in Lonavala, and hopefully they'll happen soon. We are trying to plan it, and I think Bijoy will be coming for the first time to present his work in detail. We've been trying to get him for a long time. And Biju has come to Feed recently, but he's got new work to present, and we want to invite him. So, looking forward to that.